welcome back to the Old Cranky Man channel. It's time for the semifinals of the March 2024 LCQ. My name is Rugley, and if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel. Make sure you turn those notifications on so that we get to annoy you every time we upload a video. So, the quarterfinals saw Zoe defeat Tom, Sean defeat Zach. That was the feature match yesterday. If you want to watch that game, Mono Red Goblins versus Omniscitive, it is on the channel. Luke defeats Stefan, and Jeff defeats Ben. So both of the Mono Green boys knocked out, unfortunately, but a good run for them. Now we're going to watch Luke Shealy playing Seeker Walk, taking on Jeff Moore playing Big Boros. All right, YouTube, it's time for the semifinals. Jeff Moore at the top of your screen playing Big Boros has a hand of Blood Moon, Shadow Spear, 4 lands, and Fiery Confluence. So Blood Moon can be good against just about any deck, especially a 3-color one like Luke is playing. Fiery Confluence seems extremely potent against a deck with a bunch of mana dorks in it. Luke, the follow-up to the Gitaxian Probe, a Tundra, and an Ether Vial. Jeff with land is going to pass back to Luke. Luke, no second land drop. Perhaps Luke has a mana dork to slide into play with this Ether Vial to keep his mana developing as usual. If not, might be in some trouble. Luke's points, you can see them there. Spell Seeker, Time Walk, and Survival of the Fittest. This Bant Seeker Walk deck is a mid-range deck featuring a 1-card combo in Spellseeker. If you want to learn more about it, there's a video up on the channel called What is Seeker Walk, where this man will tell you all about this deck. Jeff, turn 2. Inti, Cynical of the Sun. End of turn. Does Luke have an Ether Vial? There it is. Nothing coming into play, though. Luke, with just the Tundra, does manage to top deck a Yavimaya. Ether Vial going to put a Malcolm into play and a Time Walk cast. Luke with another turn here. Malcolm going to attack Jeff down to 17. That'll get a trigger. He's going to draw a card, then discard a card. Drawing that Yavimaya off of the top there. Pretty good. Prismatic Ending going to take care of the NT. Back on Jeff's turn. Is it going to be the Blood Moon to leave Luke with nothing but mountains? It is. There's 2 mana. Luke just has it all the time. Knight of Autumn going to destroy this Blood Moon. Both creatures going to get in the red zone. Malcolm going to trigger again. Luke just has it all. Utopia Sprawl going to go to the graveyard. Here's 3 mana from Luke. Birthing Pod. So I believe that would mean Infinite Nick's turn, but this Fiery Confluence is going to take care of 4 permanents. That is a 4-for-1. Pal's Jailer going to get slid into play at the end of turn. Luke will become the Monarch. Just going to play a land and pass the turn back. Draw a card for the Monarch. Jeff, turn number 5, has a Mox Emerald, a City of Traders, and with 8 mana now, going to play a Glorybringer. Glorybringer does not get to attack, though, as a Path to Exile is going to give Jeff another land. Luke just has it all this game. Will there be a follow-up to the Glorybringer? Does not look like it. Jeff going to pass back to Luke. Pal's Jailer in the red zone. Jeff down to 10. Here's 3 mana. Uro. Just going to pass and draw a card for the Monarch. Jeff, tons of mana in play. I see a Lightning Helix in hand. Here is a Goblin Rabblemaster. That'll be able to take the Monarch back. Unless Luke has another removal spell. Looks like we're just going to go to combat. Goblin token. In. Down to 18. Jeff's the Monarch now. Is there a follow-up? It's a Shadow Spear. Back on Luke's turn. 4 mana. Uro's going to be brought back from the graveyard. Escaped. 5 cards going to exile. Luke will get a gain 3, draw a card, and play an extra land. Pal's Jailer in the red zone. That's going to get seared alive by a Lightning Helix. Jeff going to gain 3. City of Trader is going to get tapped to equip the Goblin Rabblemaster with a Shadow Spear. Luke is in trouble. Goblin Rabblemaster going to deal a ton of damage here and gain some life. Or the Uro just eats it. Fork Bolt going to finish off the Uro, though. I don't know if Luke has enough cards in the graveyard to be able to escape it once again. Shadow Spear going to get moved over to a Goblin token. At the end of turn, just going to draw a card for the Monarch. Maybe Luke does have enough cards in the graveyard to escape it again. Here's 1 mana. Ponder. Maybe Luke looking for Luke always looking for max information and tight play. Perhaps he's got that 5th land drop to be able to escape the Uro once again. Looks like a shuffle off of the Ponder. Fresh card coming off the top. Here's a Polluted Delta going to get cracked. I believe Uro is going to be coming back from the graveyard real soon. While Luke searches his library for a land off this Polluted Delta, why don't you go ahead and smash that like button. Let me know down below. Who wins in a head-to-head fight, Kroxa or Uro? Basic Island. Here is Uro. No additional land to put in play, but Luke not dissatisfied. Still 5 cards in hand. City of Trader is going to get tapped. Here's a Caracas. Caracas is going to take care of that Uro. Just going to follow that up with a Ragavan Nimble Pilferer, and all 3 of these creatures going into the red zone. Dress down off of the top here. Just going to cast the Dress down. Draw a fresh card off of the top. And he'll go to the instep. Dress down going to get sacrificed. Drawing a card for the Monarch here. Luke down to 15. Shadow Spear gaining all the life back. Jeff is at 20. Quick judge call in here. Not 100% sure what that's about. Oh, it was whether or not the Ragavan would return to hand because of the Dress down. The Ragavan does, in fact, return to hand. Luke's just going to play the land and pass back to Jeff here. Just 2 mana. Dashing the Ragavan once again with the Caracas to protect it. Luke down to 13. Sylvan Caryatid off of the top from this Ragavan here. 2 treasure tokens now for Jeff. Caryatid, gonna get cast. Land for turn. Jeff still has 3 cards in hand, amongst them a Stomping Ground. Just gonna pass back. Ragavan will get bounced to the hand. I see a Chain to the Rocks. Not sure what else there is. Like an Eladamri's Call at the end of the turn here is going to go find an Eternal Witness. Jeff is, of course, the Monarch now. I believe that with the Time Walk still in the graveyard, if Luke has the Ephemerate, that this game is over. 6 mana available to Luke here on the untapped step. Eternal Witness will just let him take infinite turns, provided that Jeff does not have some sort of instant speed interaction. Hallowed Fountain, going to get shocked in. Luke down to 11. There's 3 mana. That's the Eternal Witness. Eternal Witness is going to pick up the Time Walk. Luke's going to cast the Time Walk. And a Fiend Artisan on the end step. That'll be able to go find the Spell Seeker for the Ephemerate, I believe. Should be GG. See Luke pulling 1 mana off to the side here. There is that Ephemerate. Yep, so that is game number 1 going to Luke Shealy here. Of course, Time Walk, Ephemerate, and Eternal Witness going infinite with one another to give Luke extra turns. Eventually, he will be able to draw his entire deck and find a way to win. And with Jeff, without an instant speed way to interact there, nothing that he can do. So game number 2 coming up here. Let's fast forward through the shuffling if we can. There we go. Perhaps players pondering mulligans here. We're going to put a card on the bottom. Looks like Jeff has kept 7 cards. And what a start. Mox Diamond, a Caracas, and if I'm not mistaken, that's Inti Cynical of the Sun. Luke with a Once Upon a Time here. Let's see what the Once Upon a Time is able to find. It's going to be a Fyndhorn Elves for Luke. Those cards will go to the bottom. Fyndhorn Elves will go to hand. A Botanical Sanctum going to get suited up with a Wild Growth here on Jeff's next turn. It is a Squee Dubious Monarch. Jeff playing Boros aggro this round. Sorry, that must not be an Inti Cynical of the Sun. I do apologize, not 100% sure which creature that is. On Luke's turn, it's a Sylvan Carried. It'll pass back over to Jeff here. Caracas going to bounce that legendary creature back to the hand. Squee Dubious Monarch in the red zone. Luke down to 13. What is that creature? It looks an awful lot like an NT. Let me know down in the comments what creature that is. It's legendary. It's been bounced with Caracas. It's attacked once. Here's a Fyndhorn Elves from Luke and Arid Mesa. Lightning Helix going to take care of the elf. Jeff's got a Minskin Boo. Hamster token coming. Jeff going to plus the Minskin Boo. Put 3+ and +1 counters on Boo. It is an Inti. That's what I thought that was an Inti. How dare I? So Squee going to make another Goblin token. Grok is going to take care of the Boo. Surveil Land from Luke here. Is this before damage, I wonder? Spar's headquarters. Nope, looks like it was at the end of turn. So Spar's headquarters is going to go to the graveyard. And Luke now has 5 mana, I believe. This Caracas here has been super duper good at keeping away some of these really, really potent threats that Jeff has put into play. That being said, Luke is facing down lethal here. 3 Goblin tokens, the Squeeze still sticking around, and the NT being able to give any one of them an additional +1/+1 counter plus trample. Here's 4 mana from Luke. So he'll have a green mana floating, I believe. There's a Skyclave Apparition. That's going to take care of the NT. Instant Boo gonna make another Boo token. Jeff plussing on that. So Luke will have to choose between the Boo and the Squee. It is going to be the Boo. And Skyclave Apparition is going to block one of the goblins, but a Fiery Confluence from Jeff here is going to deal Luke lethal damage. And we've got a game number 3 here. The player that wins this will advance to the final game. Let's see if we can fast forward through the shuffling. Looks like Jeff on a mulligan this time. Going to put a card on the bottom. Luke's going to start things off with a Horizon Canopy and a Birds of Paradise. I see a Blood Moon in hand from Jeff here. There is a Chrome Mox and a Boros Signet. So Jeff will be able to play that Blood Moon next turn, although with his Birds of Paradise in play, I don't know that it matters a ton. Jeff going to pick up the Forest. So he will have access to all colors of mana, even with the Blood Moon in play. Luke's got a Tropical Island here. Although, you know, I don't know that Blood Moon is a great plan against Luke's deck. Luke has a ton of ways to kill an enchantment. Tons of ways to kill an enchantment. And, you know, when you're playing against a statistical robot like Luke here, he's always got it. Never didn't have it. Teferi, Time Raveler, that's going to bounce the Chrome Mox. An unfortunate 2-for-1 here. It's almost a 2-for-0. Teferi being able to replace that card in hand. Magus of the Moon going to come down here as a Seasoned Dungeoneer from Luke. Jeff with just the Chrome Mox, Blood Moon, and a Clifftop Retreat in hand, I believe is in a lot of danger here. The Seasoned Dungeoneer will be able to end this game very, very quickly. Weathered Wayfarer going to get cast here alongside this Blood Moon. Jeff's last card in hand, as we know, is that Chrome Mox. So Luke will get to keep the initiative, and he's going to go into the archives to scry 2. So Luke will have access to all of his colors of mana. No, he'll have to, I don't know, is that a forest? No, it's a tropical island. So he's got an island and a Birds of Paradise for those 2 colors. But if he needs that 3rd color of mana, of course he's got that forest in hand there. So Luke definitely has access to all his colors of mana now. Can even do double pipped on anything but white. So here's 2 mana. It is a Fauna Shaman. And Seasoned Dungeoneer not even going to bother getting in the red zone here. Just going to pass back over to Jeff. Jeff. Weathered Wayfarer going to get activated. See what that goes and picks up. Anything interesting? Urza Saga. That is really unfortunate, Jeff. Urza Saga does not combo well with those 2 permanents that you yourself have in play, my friend. A little bit of a stumble here from Jeff. See if he's able to recover. I don't even know that he has realized what he's done yet, honestly. Hopefully we don't make it to the point where it's in play. Did not play the Urza Saga. That is another land. I was expecting him to get something like Sokensun or Raganjo, a land that he can use without actually putting it to play. Luke going to make a treasure token, cast a Deathrite Shaman, and he's just going to pass back over to Jeff. Jeff's just going to pass. So I believe Luke does have the win here unless Jeff has an instant speed piece of interaction in hand. Fauna Shaman can get activated to find the Spell Seeker, and then he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana to go infinite. Jeff has in hand the Urza Saga. I cannot tell what those other 2 cards are. Yep, there is the Spellseeker from Luke. Gonna make a 4/1 Menacing Skeleton off of this initiative. Here's the Spellseeker. So the Spellseeker will get Ephemerate. Ephemerate will Ephemerate the Spellseeker. And then we're going to pick up a Time Walk, I would imagine, here. And I believe that is it. Just confirm with the players real quick, but I think Luke is going to be advancing to the finals here. Seasoned Dungeoneer getting in the red zone. Abyssin's Pilgrim going to go to the graveyard. Yep, infinite turns when you have the initiative and you're going through the Undercity. It only takes a few turns to kill your opponent. That will do it. Luke Shealy is going to win this game 2-1 over Jeff here. A good, solid run for Jeff. Jeff being able to pick up a dual land in addition to a good-sized chunk of Lawlander qualifier points. Nothing to be ashamed of there. As you can see, Luke's opponent in the finals will be Sean, our mono red Goblins player. So tune in to the channel tomorrow. Check out the finals of this LCQ and see who gets to walk away with the qualification for the championship at an Underground Sea. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn those notifications on so that we get to annoy you every time we upload a video. And we'll see you guys in the next one.